Hey everybody, hope you're doing amazing. It's Kendall Netmaker here coming to you live. And today I want to share with you a few business tips, but more importantly, I want to answer some of your questions that some of you might have here today on today's live stream. Um, so today, combined with answering a few of your questions, I want to share with you, whoever is tuning in here today, I want to share with you three key points that you can do right now today if you really want to take your path, whatever career path that you're on right now, whether you're in business, whether you're working on for somebody and so on, whatever path that might be. I want to share with you three things on this live stream that can help you. I know it's helped me. It's there's some things along the way that have been taught to me, and I want to share them with you. Okay. All right. So first and foremost, you know, the first thing I want one of the first thing out of the three things I want to share with you today, um, is that the most successful entrepreneurs, the most successful businessmen, the most successful leaders that I know, that I've worked with, that I've had a chance to build a relationship across this country. One thing that they all have in common is this one thing, and I want to share this with you. They've made a distinct decision of what it is that they are going after. And now some of you might be thinking, well, Kendall, what do you mean? Like, what kind of decision is that? I do want to be successful, they'll say. Well, my question to you is, whatever you decide to do, okay, whatever decision that you decide to do with your life, your career, there's so many people that have made a basic decision to move forward in something, but they haven't dedicated themselves to growing something, to growing themselves, even to growing their mind, to growing their career path, becoming the best in their field, whatever decision that is that they decided to be good at. They haven't invested everything into that. So if you haven't invested everything you possibly can with your mind, whatever it is in front of you, into that path, how can you expect to reap a lot of rewards from that? It's kind of like the person that says, I want to be successful, but they don't ever get up off the couch and do something about it. So the first thing I want to share with everyone here today is, uh, there's a drive that you have to have. Okay, that drive comes from within. It's a feeling that you're going to have, whatever you decide to do, whether it's go to university, write a book, start a business, take your workplace to another level, get into management, become a CEO, whatever that might be. There's a decision that you have to make, and it's a dedicated decision that you have to commit to excellence. So, number one, a decision that commits to being as best as you possibly can with whatever you decide to go on in your path. Okay, that's number one. Number two is another one that, once you make that decision to be on your path, you've dedicated every ounce of energy that you possibly can to growing yourself down that path, whatever that might be. Is there's a saying that progress or success is not when you're comfortable. So what I've learned this the hard way growing up, and even also getting into business, even in university, one of the things that I dreaded a lot. I still dread it to this day because I don't really care for these type of things where you have to go into a networking event, right? Where you have to go and exchange business cards, shake hands, make small talk, that kind of stuff. And number two is you have to be willing to put yourself out there and network. So many times I've tried to talk myself out of going to certain places, or even going to different seminars, workshops, because I knew I had to network, but I knew that it was stopping me from doing things. And I guarantee you, some of you watching this right now have gone through this, have gone through things in your life that have stopped you from progressing, little things like that. So whatever that you decide to do with your life, once you've made that decision and you've gone on to dedicating your path in that moment to becoming uh, as best as you possibly can to it, you have to now throw yourself out there. You have to network. You have to. I said this in past live streams. Everyone should have a website. Everyone should be on LinkedIn, on Facebook, wherever it is that your path and the network is, go on there and start getting comfortable with being on there. Okay, so that's number two, is you have to be willing to throw yourself out there. Number one, you've committed to excellence. Number two, you've committed to being uncomfortable, throwing yourself out there, and whatever means necessary to obtain that goal. And I would say that the number three, that I want to share with you today is, you can't be afraid to ask for help. You can't be afraid to ask for mentorship, to ask for coaching, to invest in yourself. There's a lot of people that will help you for free, but there's also people that you should compensate for their time. When I first got into business, I had a few free mentors. And then as I grew in my business, I started to pay for coaching. I started to pay to go to seminars. I started paying for books, paying for online courses, paying for every little thing that I possibly can to help get me to my goal faster. And as I was doing this, and I still do this to this day, when I get a chance to work on myself, I find I look at the benefits of what I'm going to learn. So whatever you're going to learn in front of you, if it can cut your time in half to get to your goal, try to do it. That's my recommendation, whatever that might be, whether it's picking up a book, watching a YouTube video, whatever that online course, training, whatever that might be. Do more of that. Because the faster you can get from point A to point B means that you can get to your goal quicker, and then you can evolve into whatever is next after that. Okay, so let's recap. Number one, a decision, a commitment to excellence. It's a drive that you have to have. Number two, willing to get uncomfortable by throwing yourself out there in the marketplace in the means of, maybe you're doing live streams like this. Maybe you have to do Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, YouTube videos. I don't know what that is for you, but there's a decision that you have to make. You have to be able to market yourself, your product, your service, your career path, whether it be Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, whatever that might be. And number three is willing to ask for help. Being willing to be able to pick up the phone and ask people questions, willing to inbox people, willing to ask for help. That's the hard. A lot of people don't realize that people are there to help you, but sometimes we just stop ourselves from asking those simple questions. So those are the three things I want to share with you. And if you have any questions here today, I'd be willing to help you. Yes, Sherry, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. We have a question on Facebook. Let's see, let's say you have an extremely hard day. What gives you the drive to keep going the next day? Well, I talked about this on yesterday's live stream about, when you go through any obstacle, and let's just pretend it's a bad day. Let's pretend you got some news that you didn't want to hear. Or maybe something happened at the grocery store. Maybe you got in a conflict, okay? Maybe something like that happened. I don't know. It's a mindset, the way that you view the situations. Do you respond or do you react? People who react blow up things out of proportion all the time. They'll get into conflicts. They'll get into fights all the time. That's a reaction. When you respond from a point of asking yourself, let's pretend someone cuts you off in traffic, all right? Maybe the universe made that person cut you off so that you cannot get in an accident a couple blocks later. But in that moment, it looks negative, and you don't even realize that maybe that person did a favor for you. I don't know. That's just an example. Sometimes there are things that happen to us that often look negative. They look problematic, but there can be blessings in disguise there that you don't even realize that are taking place. So when you get in those conflicts, you get in those situations, ask yourself this question: what am I meant to learn through this? What is the universe trying to teach me? What am I meant to learn in this moment? There's a teaching here. There's nothing happens for nothing, okay? There's always a reason behind it. So if you go through it, how are you going to respond to it? Are you going to react like probably most people would? Or are you going to sit there and think about that just for a split second? What am I meant to learn? There's a teaching here. Maybe that person came into your life. Maybe that event happened so that you can learn to respond to that better, because in the future you might be growing into a position that you're going to work with people like that. You have to deal with those kind of behaviors. I don't know, but there's things like that happen to a lot of people that are on a success journey, that are on a growth path. You're going to be tested like that. You're going to go through obstacles, and as you go through those obstacles, you have to learn and grow through those, because what's next to come, you can't get that unless you tackle those little step by steps that the universe is throwing at you, so that you can grow and become that person that you're seeking to become. That's the best way I can put that. I hope that helps there. Let's see, Rob. Good to see you, Rob. Awesome. I'm glad those top three have helped you. For any of you who are just tuning in right now, we talked about three keys that anyone could take right now to help them succeed in whatever field that they're in, whether they're in business, whether they're growing up the corporate ladder, wanting to become a manager, CEO, VP, whatever that might be. Okay. And just to sum it up again, we talked about being committed to excellence, having that drive to grow and wanting to become that person that you're trying to become. And number two, willing to put yourself outside your comfort zone, willing to network, willing to do things that most people won't do. Building a website, getting on LinkedIn, doing a Facebook, maybe you're doing live streams, maybe you're doing YouTube videos, maybe you're I don't know, you have pamphlets, you have business cards, you're doing stuff, you're throwing yourself out there. Maybe you have stuff on people's lawns with your signage. I don't know, but you're willing to do that because most people don't do that. Number three, willing to ask for help, willing to ask people questions, willing to reach out to people, willing to be coached, willing to be mentored. Those are the three things I want to share with everyone who's watching here today. And as we're approaching the end of 2020, I wanted to make it available that if there's anyone here who is working with staff or looking at building some meetings into their workplace, I am taking bookings for virtual trainings, virtual webinars, virtual meetings, and so on. Getting a bunch of different bookings hitting from now up until 2021. So if you want to book a session, you want to work with me, go to my website, candlenetmaker.com, and we can get the conversation working there. You can also send me a message and we can work on possibly working together. I am doing a lot of coaching through COVID, working with business leaders and also leaders of organizations. So if you want to work with me, you want to see how that works, reach out to me after this live stream and we can work at making that all happen for you. So I want to say everyone who is watching and tuning in here today, I want to say, I guess, happy Halloween, right, to all of you, and hopefully you all have a safe weekend and take care of all of your loved ones, and also try to follow those three things that I've shared with you today. Committed to excellence. It's okay to be uncomfortable, throwing yourself out there. And lastly, ask for help, because you don't know what one question, reaching out to someone, what that might lead to. It might lead to you being able to get somewhere quicker. It might lead to being able to get introduced to someone that maybe you never thought you'd get introduced to before. It might lead to opening up your mind to other possibilities in your field. I don't know what that is, but that these are some of the things that have happened to me. And I guarantee you, if you follow these three steps, or even just adopt a few of them, you're going to see some cool things happening in your life, your career, your business. So have a great day. We'll talk to you again soon on the next live